About 9:30 this morning, a recent CDC report shows that deaths from drug overdoses rose dramatically in 2021. In fact, drug deaths spiked by 15% nationwide, and it's worse here in the state of California, with cases rising by more than 22%.
The big question, of course, is what is causing this dramatic surge? How can it be reversed? Joining us to discuss is Director of Outpatient Services with the Hazelden Betty Ford Center here in L.A., Brian Cooey. Thank you for joining us, Brian. We appreciate it. Let's start first with the Betty Ford Center. And what are we attributing these deaths to? Do you all believe that it is pandemic-related?
Well, at the Betty Ford Center, we have had more residential admissions in the month of March than in the 72-year history of the foundation. And the pandemic has a lot to do with what's going on right now. The numbers from the CDC are absolutely appalling to the professional community. And I think the public and your viewing audience should be alarmed as well. It's pretty easy to get desensitized to these numbers. But it's important to understand that this is like nothing we've seen before. It's unprecedented, and the pandemic has a lot to do with that.
So what exactly are you hearing from your patients?
So a lot of the suffering that went on during the pandemic are coming to cash out their accounts now. People have been isolated. They've been out of work. They've become sicker than ever. And they have not engaged in the normal ways that we would identify people who have an addiction problem. They don't go to their physicians for normal visits. They're isolated away from their family, and so their problem goes unchecked. And so they've just been getting sicker and sicker, and the problems have become more and more intense.
You know, we've been saying from the beginning, for many people, safer at home is not the reality. We do know that many of these deaths are related to opioids, especially fentanyl. It seems like every week we're hearing about another overdose. Will you talk about why this is the trend now? Why is it so dangerous?
Well, part of it is, what I mentioned about the lack of access to care during the pandemic. And also drug traffickers during the time of the pandemic, because of restricted travel, chose to move towards more concentrated forms of opioids like fentanyl, which are easier to transport. And that infrastructure is now in place, where fentanyl is now 85% of the supply. And in addition to that, a high percentage of those overdoses that we heard about recently are related also to methamphetamine and cocaine. So it's both an issue with the supply and the lack of access to care and help.
I think we did a report on this several weeks ago, but there's some bars out there where they're offering what are called those fentanyl test strips. What's your stance on those strips, and should they be available to everyone based on so many overdose deaths involving fentanyl?
Yeah, when we talk about harm reduction, it can set off some tripwires in people's minds, but it's really important to meet people where they're at. So that means greater access to overdose drugs like Narcan, access to fentanyl test strips to see if what you purchased and are taking is safe, and access to care is also a big part of that.
Now, you believe that it's really important that we broaden our focus beyond opioids. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, addiction is about people, and it's not about a specific drug. And so, sometimes, certain substances get more of the limelight, but it's really important to understand that each one of those overdose deaths, whether it's related to fentanyl or something else, is a person, is a family. And we're losing someone every 5 minutes of the day, if not more often than that. And a really important part of dealing with this issue, besides the tactics that I talked about, is fighting stigma and making sure that people understand that addiction is a disease. It's a medical disorder, and they need to get help for it like they would for any other medical disorder, and make a call to get the care that they need.
So what's your advice to someone who's watching right now who might need some help?
Well, you can go to hazeldenbettyford.org, our website, and you can get a free assessment for yourself or a family member. You can also get educational information on how to support yourself, your kids, your family, and other services that are available to you. And it's important to have the conversations, and to have the conversations in a way that is compassionate and encourages people to seek help. Because we know there's a lot of people out there, only 10% of the people who need help are getting the help that they need. And, you know, we are here and other providers are also here. I would suggest people go search online or make the call as soon as you can. Just talk to someone and see what resources and supports are available for you.
Brian Cooey, we appreciate your insight this morning. There's the information for you on the screen right there. You can visit hazeltonbettyford.org or you can call 1-877-593-0701.